Hello everyone, I am Prerna from Maths Excite. Today we will be solving the CET 2025 PYQs on the relations and functions topic. These are the must solve problems before exams. So first problem, it is if x is an integer and x square minus 9 is equal to 0. We have three sets A, B and C. So we will write down the sets. What will be the elements in A set? They have told it is the solutions of x square minus 9 is equal to 0. So what are the solutions of x square minus 9 is equal to 0? When we solve x square minus 9 is equal to 0, we get x square is equal to 9. So x will be what? Square root of 9, that is plus 3 and minus 3. So these are the values in A. So A set will be 3 and minus 3. So what will be B set? They have told it is a natural number where x is from 2 to 5. So 2 is included, 3, 4. 5 is not included because here we can see we do not have less than or equal to 5. So this closes. Next, C is equal to what? X is a prime number less than or equal to 4. So what are the prime numbers less than or equal to 4? 2 and 3. So what is asked here? B minus C union A. What is B minus C? B minus C means what? From the set B, we are removing all the C elements. So C elements are 2 and 3. So if I remove these two elements from B, what is left out? Only 4 is left out. So now they have asked B minus C union A. So in B minus C, we have only 4 and A is 3 and minus 3. So when I do union, is writing all the elements of those two sets. So I'll get 3 minus 3 and 4. So this is in the first option. So this is the first option is correct. Second question, we have A and B two sets which are having 3 and 6 elements. So the number of elements in that set is called as what? Cardinality of A. So we write cardinality of A as 3, or it is also written as what? We denote it like this, correct? Cardinality of A is 3. And what is cardinality of B? Cardinality of B is 6 elements. Now, what is asked? They have asked me to find the minimum number of elements in A union B and A intersection B. We have a formula which relates union and intersection. What is that formula? Cardinality of A union B is equal to what? Cardinality of A plus cardinality of B minus cardinality of A intersection B. This is the formula. So based on this, we are finding out whether the statement 1 and statement 2 are true or false. Always remember, cardinality of A union B is depending on the A intersection B cardinality. So if union cardinality is minimum, then this is maximum. They are inversely proportional. Okay. So if this is maximum, then this is minimum. So we have two cases now. So what we will do, we will find out what will be the minimum value for cardinality of A intersection B. Intersection B means what? The common elements. So if I take two elements A and B and there are no common elements among these two, then their cardinality will be 0. So that is my minimum case. So if cardinality of A intersection B is 0, then what will be this? What will be A union B cardinality? Cardinality of A union B will be cardinality of A, that is 3, plus B, that is 6. That will give me 9. So this is my minimum or maximum value. We had taken A intersection B as minimum. So this value will be my what value? Maximum value. So we have got maximum number of elements in A union B. But in question, in statement 1, we have minimum number of values, correct? So we'll find out minimum. So to find minimum values of A intersection B, we need maximum of A intersection B. So what will be maximum of cardinality of A intersection B? How do we find out maximum? Suppose if A has elements 1, 2 and 3, correct? Cardinality is 3 and B element has cardinality as 6. So if I write these elements as the elements in set B, then when I do intersection, what will be my maximum value? Maximum value can only be 3. Correct? I cannot write more than 3. So my A intersection B, cardinality of that maximum value will be 3. So if A intersection B value is maximum, then cardinality of A union B will be minimum. What will be that value? Cardinality of A plus cardinality of B minus, I'm substituting it in this formula, correct? So now what is cardinality of A intersection B now? 3. So this will be equal to 6. Since I have taken maximum of A intersection B, this will be my what? Minimum of A union B. So what was my first statement? Minimum number of elements in A union B is 3. But what we have got? We have got minimum as 6. So statement 1 is what? False statement. So here you can see in A, we have 1 is true. So this is false. So we decline this option. Next, option B, statement 1 is false. Correct. But we don't know about statement 2 here. So we'll check statement 2 now. It is maximum number of elements in A intersection B. So what is my maximum value of A intersection B? It is 3. Correct? That is what is given. So statement 2 is true. Therefore, option B is correct. Solve the videos that I am doing, pause and then solve the solutions by yourself. So third question is finding the domain. How do you find out the domain? Since we have the function here and you can see that the denominator is under the square root. Correct? Since the denominator is under the square root, all the elements should be under the square root. What the element should be? They should be greater than or equal to 0. Correct? It should be greater than or equal to 0. And one more condition is that whenever there is a value in the denominator, to find the domain, denominator should not be equal to 0. Correct? If denominator should not be equal to 0, then what is there in my denominator? X minus 2 should not be equal to 0. So that implies what? X should not be equal to 2. Similarly, we have x minus 5. X minus 5 is not equal to 0. Then implies x is not equal to 5. That means what? 2 and 5 are not included. So we'll just discard the options and then we will find out what is the answer for this question. So in option A, it is a closed interval here. That means what? 2 and 5 are included. So this option is discarded. Coming to option C, 2 should not be included, correct? But here you can see if 3 is included, that means what? All the negative numbers till 3, all the numbers are included. That means 2 is included here. So we discard this option. Similarly, this option, 5, it should not be equal to 5, but here 5 is included. So this option is discarded. So this is the only option that is left out, option B. You can see here 2 is not included, 5 is not included. Other than that, all the other elements are included. So that is the domain of this function. Moving to the fourth question. So the set A is given as A, B and C. We have to find out the number of equivalence relations. What is equivalence relation? Equivalence relation means what? We have to check the 3 conditions. What are those 3 conditions? First one is if the given set is reflexive, and then next is symmetric, and then next is transitive. Correct? These 3 are the definitions. By now, since your exams are near, you must know these definitions. Correct? So first, we have to find out how many equivalence relations are there. We will write down the first relation. That relation should be satisfying all these 3, only then we can say it is equivalence. Correct? So first one is reflexive. Reflexive means what? We have to use these 3 elements and write the set. So reflexive means what? A comma A is my first element, B comma B and C comma C. Now next element is, they have told here that this set, whatever reflexive relations we are writing, that should contain B comma C. So in this relation I will include B comma C. Now these 3 conditions are satisfying for this relation. First one was reflexive. Here we can see it is all the reflexive conditions are satisfied. Yes. Second condition is symmetric. Symmetric condition is satisfied here for these 3. Yes. But for B comma C it is not satisfied. So what should we include? We have to include C comma B. Now check whether it is transitive. Yes, it is satisfying the condition of transitive. So we close this set. So this is one of the equivalence relation. Correct? We have considered only few elements and written this relation. Or we can write one more relation also by writing this reflexive elements CC. Also, since we have to include BC, I am including that BC. So to make it symmetric, I am including CB. Correct? We can include the other element A comma B as well. Now check whether it is reflexive. Yes, it is reflexive. Is it symmetric? Yes, till here it is symmetric, but we have AB. We do not have BA, right? So we have to include that to make it symmetric. Now check whether it is transitive. Is it transitive? If I take these two elements, AB, BA. So what is the other third element that should belong to this set? AA. Yes, we have that element. If I take BC, CB, then BB should belong to this. Yes, we have that. But suppose if I take CB, this element and this element, what should be the third element that should belong to this set to make it transitive? CB, BA, then the element that should belong is CA. Correct? We do not have here. So that should be included to make it transitive. So now transitivity is satisfied. But is it symmetric? No. Why? Because we only have CA. We do not have AC. So we include that as well. Correct? So this full R2, whatever we have written, this is nothing but what? A cross A. Correct? So these are the only two possibilities. Yes, this is the minimum possibilities of using the elements and this is the maximum possibilities. So these are the only two possibilities that we can write for finding the equivalence relations for this set A. So how many possibilities we had now? R1 and R2. So that means which option is correct? Option C is correct. Only two equivalence relations can be found out on this set A. Moving on to the next question. This is a question on finding 1, 1 and 1, 1 functions for f and g. Correct? See, there are different ways for finding whether the function is 1, 1. The easier way is by drawing a graph. So what we will do, we will draw a graph. We have two functions here, f and g. Always we have to draw the graph based on the domain. Correct? So f of x is equal to sin x. So to draw a graph, f of x is equal to sin x. This is my axis. Correct? I am seeing the domain. So what is domain? Closed interval 0 to pi by 2. So in this interval, how will be the sin x graph? Sin 0 is 0, sin 90 is 1. So this is my sin x graph in the closed interval 0 to pi by 2 domain. Similarly, I will write down my g of x graph also. What is g of x? Cos x. So what is cos x graph? This is my cos x graph in the domain closed interval 0 to pi by 2. Now, what are the statements given? F and g are 1, 1. How do we find out whether these functions are 1, 1 from the graph? By doing a horizontal line test. What is horizontal line test? We just draw a horizontal line parallel to the x-axis. Correct? So if I draw a horizontal line here, does this horizontal line cut the graph? Yes. At how many points? At exactly 1 point. That means what? Since it is cutting at exactly 1 point, I can say f is 1, 1 function. Similarly, coming to g. If I draw a horizontal line here, you can see that the line cuts the graph at exactly 1 point. So yes, cos x is also 1, 1 function. So that means what? Statement 1 is true. Now, see the options. Option A, statement 1 is true. Correct. Statement 1 is false in option B. But we already know that it is true. So I can discard this option. Coming to option D, they have told 1 and 2 are false. But we know statement 1 is true. So we can discard these options. Now we are left with only 2 options. That is, we have to check whether statement 2 is false or true. Because we already know about statement 1. What is statement 2? F plus g. That means what? These two functions are added up. So when I add these two functions, what will be my graph? If I am doing for f plus g, that means I am adding these two graphs, correct? This was my sin x graph. This was my cos x graph. So this is the graph when I am adding up two functions. So for this, if I draw a horizontal line, what happens? I am drawing it here. You can see it cuts the graph at two different points, correct? Since it is cutting the graph at two different points, it is not 1, 1. So that means statement 2 is what? It is false. So here you can see option C, it is told it is true. So this is discarded. So option A will be correct. Yes. So pause the video and solve the questions. Practice. Keep practicing. Since your exams are near, keep practicing. Okay. Thank you for watching. Stay consistent. Follow Maths Excite for such PYQs.